People are wondering how this happened, and we want to talk about that right now. Former CIA analyst Buck Sexton joins me there on that. Buck, what do you think? I mean, as Jonathan just told us, they were on. This guy was on the list.
It looks like the system failed here
again.
And in the aftermath of Parkland, I think people are looking much more closely at not just the tools that law enforcement has at its disposal to try and intervene with someone who's clearly mentally disturbed. And this individual is obviously deranged. He thinks that there are celebrities that are following him around. I mean, there's no question that this person has serious problems. Law enforcement was aware, weapons taken away from him. The fact that the father here, though, is the one reportedly who gave the weapons back to him just goes to show you that even when law enforcement does take action, it's not necessarily the case that you can avert something like this from happening. So we're going to look at all the different points of failure in this, and also the moment of heroism from the individual James Shaw, who went in there and actually stopped this mass shooting from being much worse than it already was.
Oh, my God. James Shaw, I've been talking about him for 24 hours. What an incredible hero. What courage he displayed. So thankful to him, because to kill a lot of people.
And when you look at these incidents after the fact, there are usually two tracks that people take for what could we have done. The big one is law enforcement, and here it seems law enforcement took some action, perhaps not enough under the circumstances. Maybe this individual, they should have looked to press charges. Sometimes it can be an important point of illumination for an individual to actually face some prison time and not just keep getting second chances and get pushed around the system. And then in the case of James Shaw, what we see is that somebody who is a vigilant citizen can in fact save lives. So when we talk about this after a mass shooting and we look at what each and every one of us can do, talking about just being aware, look for entry points and exits, and understand what you can and can't do if you're in an active shooter situation, lives were saved here because of Mr. Shaw.
2 guns were taken from the shooter, and then his father gives him the guns back, as you just mentioned. How much culpability now does the father have?
I think he's going to be in a whole lot of trouble. It's likely that he's going to face charges for this. It depends on what the specifics of the state law, because he would have gone through state law, I believe, to take away his firearms here. So the sheriff would have gone through a process, or local law enforcement, to take away whatever guns that he had based on a mental health issue. So that means that the father, I'm sure, should have known, if he did not know, that he's probably violating the law by doing it. And he definitely should have known, just based on common sense, you should not be giving this individual a firearm. Right. So I don't know how he could have made that mistake, and it led to tragedy.
Real quick on Toronto, right now, as officials are looking for the perpetrator, how do you avoid a guy jumping into a van and plowing into lots of people?
Very little you can do once you get to the point of action. Once the plot is actually being executed to avert it, you're just hoping to mitigate casualties, not eliminate all casualties.
Right. So what is the CIA or the FBI looking at now in terms of trying to track this guy?
Well, they've got him, and so they're going to be trying to grab people around him, look if there was a cell at work here, if he was taking direction from abroad, assuming this is a terror plot, which, based on the probability of all the tactics and the targets set here, the overwhelming probability is a terrorist plot. A lot of people are going to be suggesting it's most likely jihadist inspired, not known yet, not reported, but that's what it would be as a function of the percentages. So we're going to be looking to see what law enforcement come up with. What was he doing the days before, and who might have been talking to him, who could have known, and who helped him.
Yeah, we'll watch that. Buck, thank you.
Thank you.
Great to see you, Buck Sexton.